Welcome back, everyone, as we come back with a live look over downtown Austin there. You know, it may only be March, but we are already getting a sneak peek into next winter's forecast. We are really jumping ahead here, Chief Meteorologist Nick Bannin. What's going on with that?
Yeah, you know, these outlooks for the phase of ENSO, which is the El Nino Southern Oscillation, whether we're in La Nina, El Nino, or neutral, they're actually fairly accurate, fairly far in advance. So we're already getting an idea, not a guarantee, of the phase we're likely to be in next winter, but more an expectation of the phase we probably won't be in. Right now, we're still in La Nina, although the latest outlook from the Climate Prediction Center expects that La Nina is going to wrap up here over the next few weeks, and probably as we head into April, we'll get the official word that La Nina is over. But this is the outlook for El Nino, La Nina, or a neutral pattern going forward. And you can see these bars here representing the odds of a neutral pattern over the next few months. This first bar here, and I know it's blocked off a little bit by the bottom there, is February, March, and April, where we're starting to transition away from La Nina, which are the blue bars, toward this neutral pattern. And we're likely going to be in neutral to end spring through the summer and into the beginning of fall. What's interesting, though, is these red bars, the odds of El Nino, start to gradually rise. El Nino is the warm phase of ENSO. So this past winter, we were in the cool phase of ENSO, La Nina. But El Nino, starting to see the odds of that go up a little bit during the summer, fall, and into early next winter. But what we're starting to see is a big difference between the odds of El Nino. This is October, November, December, by the way, that we're looking at the very end here. And then the odds of neutral or La Nina. So the odds of La Nina or a neutral pattern into next winter, much higher than the odds of El Nino. So it is appearing more and more likely that we're not going to have an El Nino winter next winter, that the choices are probably going to come down to either a neutral pattern in the winter, which means that the water temperatures in the Pacific Ocean don't really have an impact on our weather pattern over the winter time. Or we go back to having another La Nina winter. Now, of course, we just had a La Nina winter, and La Nina winters are typically drier than normal here in central Texas, so that's not ideal. This is the usual La Nina pattern, and the storm track north of us means that we stay drier and usually warmer than normal, though this last winter was actually near average. So drier than normal, though, for next winter would not be great, coming on top of the winter that we just had that was drier than normal, the beginning to spring that we're dealing with now that is drier than normal as well. But starting to narrow down the possibilities here for next winter without getting the specifics on what we're expecting just yet. We dive into this more, though, on KXAN.com. I've got a full blog all about the expectations and the odds of neutral or La Nina or El Nino through the year and into the beginning of next winter. And we also had a long KXAN live discussion about that here that you can see on our CTV app. You can download that for Fire TV, Apple TV as well, KXAN Plus. You can watch that full discussion here later on today. All right, this is how it looks from our West Shore home camera, looking from our KXAN studios toward downtown, blue skies and sunshine. It's all, in many respects, a lovely day, except for the fact that it's windy, and of course we've got this continued fire danger because we haven't had nearly as much rain as we need. And we're going to add more fire danger to that once this cold front arrives in central Texas. This cold front is going to drive in much drier air and reinforce the windy pattern. So let me show you the wind here tonight that will continue to come out of the south, and the wind's still going to stay strong into the evening, gusting 30 miles per hour frequently, potentially gusting over 40 miles per hour here tonight. There's 11 o'clock. Then we get past midnight, our cold front arrives in the early morning hours of tomorrow, probably before you wake up. That front's already going to be in the metro, changing the wind direction instead of the south from the west and northwest, blowing in that drier air. And then those winds get stronger through the day, especially by late morning. I think that's when we'll see the peak wind gusts of the day, up near 40 miles per hour again, especially in the hill country, but gusting potentially over 30 miles per hour in the metro and our eastern counties. Then the wind gusts slowly come down tomorrow afternoon. They come down even more tomorrow evening. And then by the time we're up Thursday morning, not really much wind left to speak of, just a light breeze at that point. Now, while the humidity levels now are higher than they were yesterday, and they will continue to rise as we get into the night tonight, they will fall very quickly once that cold front comes in tomorrow morning, going from values 80% plus ahead of the front to teens and single-digit relative humidity numbers behind the front. And that air is going to be oh so dry here tomorrow afternoon. That dries out the fuel on the ground. And of course, the wind helps to spread a fire. So should any fires develop, they could spread very easily here tomorrow. And then those relative humidity values start to come back up as we get into Thursday, as our wind gusts also come down. All this to say, our wildfire risk tomorrow is a 5 out of 5 for every single county within our 15-county viewing area. We've got to be oh so careful not to start any sparks. Certainly don't want to burn here tomorrow, nor should you burn today. We've got red flag warnings for the entire area, beginning early in the morning at 5 and continuing until the late evening at 9 for those strong wind gusts and dry conditions. So some low clouds late tonight, overnight lows of 58, staying windy tonight. And then our day tomorrow, not as warm. So we get rid of the 80s and we'll drop into the 70s. But the story is less so much the temperature change as it is the wind and the fire danger. And then fast forward into Thursday morning. I just want to keep you updated on this because it could be cold enough for a patchy freeze in the hill country Thursday morning. Right now we're seeing some of our coldest numbers down around 33 or 34. That's cold enough that a few spots may still get down to 32. So early heads up about that. We're still watching our storm chances Sunday evening into early Monday. And that may actually carry a severe weather risk right now, Milam County included in that. Rain chances not that high, but worth watching. So the cold front knocks us into the 70s for a couple of days, but then we're back into the 80s on Friday, warming into the weekend ahead of our next front that may bring those thunderstorms.